What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to dive back into Zompiercer. We haven't checked in on this game in about a year. I normally try to space myself for like a game that's updating quickly. I try to space it out by like 6 months, and for a game that's updating a little bit slower, I try to space it out by about a year. This one's been updating a little bit slower, and so they've been adding things to the overall open world, but if you've never seen it before, Zompiercer is kind of like a chibi-styled post-apocalyptic zombie survival open world crafting game where you are stuck on a train. That's pretty much it, but you're not actually stuck on the train, but the train is kind of your main roving base that you use to get around the map. It's obviously sort of like referencing Snowpiercer, which like I wasn't a fan of the movie, but I was like a big fan of the TV show. I liked the TV show a ton. I kind of binge watched it. So anyways, here we are on the outskirts of humanity. Right now, the city is burning. We just got away from that little engine area over there. I stole this train, and we're out in the middle of the great wide world. I've got a baseball bat, and I've got some crafting materials, but that's about all I've got going for me right now. The ultimate goal of the game is to survive and thrive for as long as you can and make the train as comfortable as possible. So that's what we're going to do today. The game only has a couple of locations for your train to visit as of right now, but as it develops, I am very, very excited about this one, so I'm hoping the developers don't drop the ball and it turns out great. If after watching this you wanted to get the game for yourself, I got a list for you down below. You can check that on out next to my Discord, my Twitch stream, and all that kind of fun stuff. I'd love to see you live over there. So let's dive on in. As of right now, I'm carrying around a little bit too much weight, so I think we're going to have to use the storage space inside of my train in order to get this stuff sort of packed away. Here's my wall cabinet right here. I'm going to throw the wood in there real fast, and I'm going to throw... Oh, no, that's overloaded. Okay, so I've actually overloaded the storage. Well, then, the other option that we can go to is we should probably craft some of these things. So let's make a hammer real fast so that we can start building on the back of the train. We should probably also make a carpentry workbench. That'll more than likely make our life a little bit easier. It's going to take up 6 of our wood and 2 of our metal. I got all this stuff from looting during the tutorial inside of that little area over there. The last time we played the game, we did play through the tutorial, so if you wanted to know how the game introduces you to the world of Zompiercer, I highly recommend you go back and watch my previous video. But this time I wanted to jump straight back on into the action so that you can see a little bit further on into the game and what is going on. So I'm going to get this crafting bench down like maybe, I don't know, like right there seems okay to me. And then we'll go ahead and throw a couple smacks on it. There we go, percussive maintenance. We're going to get this thing working. Once it's up and running, we can decide what we want to spend all of these crafting materials on before we move on to the next location. But like I saw some stuff that they added since the last time that I played the game, and I wanted to go and check it out. So what I really want, we can get a scrap baseball bat. I actually want a bow, and we can make that pretty simply and easily just by using some of our wood and cloth. I think we're going to need a bed as well, so I'll probably craft those off too. So let's get the bed rocking right there. We're going to need some arrows to go along with this. I don't know how many arrows I'm going to craft. Maybe like 20 or 30 of them, I think. You can retrieve your arrows after you shoot enemies in the face, and so it's not like that big of a deal to have like an absolutely bristling supply of, you know, projectile pokies, but I'm going to try and get as many as I can for right now. I'm also clearing out my inventory. That's kind of the big secret here, is that I've got way too much weight on me and I just haven't done anything with it. So there we go. We got 24 arrows. We got a bow. I'm going to throw that on. I think I got to drag this off first. It won't let you like hot swap things away. There we go. And so now, I made 2 beds. Okay, well maybe we'll have a friend over and like the extra space will be, you know, good. So we'll go ahead and put that right there. We'll go ahead and put that right there. And now we've got 2 beds. Why not? We're going to need to sleep at some point, so, like, I don't see any reason in future-proofing. I don't know if we're going to have any friends over anytime soon. Everybody we run into seems to be shockingly undead. But that's the way life goes when you're in the post-apocalypse. Building a bed from scratch, because I'm a Renaissance man. Alright, so the bed's been built. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon. I suggest we jump off the back of the train, and I saw a trail that's leading up this way, and if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw a roof line over here, so I'm going to investigate. Like, I think they added, like, buildings and stuff that you can just see from the train while you're roaming around. Like, the last time I played, there was really, like, nothing out here. It was just kind of open space, but I think they've been adding things, and these little trails tend to act as indicators. There's a little hut back here. I think we should probably investigate that, but before we do, let's talk about the UI. So obviously I'm in the top center of the screen, I've got my crafting hot slots, just like when you're playing Rust or any other survival game. On the top left, we've got our health. From the top to the bottom, we've got our health, we've got our stamina, we've got our hunger, our water, our sleep, and then the one underneath that is the only meter that's a little bit outside the ordinary, although not altogether rare in gaming. The one at the bottom is going to be how conspicuous we are. It's basically our visibility, and it's a chance that zombies are going to see us while we're sneaking around. This can be modified by clothing and other things that you can throw onto your character, but for right now, we're kind of stuck at the default, which is 50%. That's fine, because I'm not particularly looking to be sneaky anyways. I'm looking to wipe out zombies everywhere that they may roam, for no particular reason either. I'm a simple man. I enjoy destroying zombies for the simple pleasure of destroying zombies. The zombies in this game are not lootable, at least in the last hour or so of me playing the game, just kind of testing it out prior to making the video. I haven't noticed any zombies having loot on them, but, I'm open to being surprised. Any zombies around here? I don't hear them in here. Nope, there they are. Where's that zombie at? Downstairs. Gotta be downstairs, right? Oh, it's dark down there. Nope. I do not like that, sir. Okay. Oh, there's a zombie in a jail cell. Okay, well, let's let this dude out. We've got kind of a limited cone of vision, and I'm not stoked about dealing with this guy while we're sort of, like, visually impaired. There we go. So we'll put a bow shot on him. I'm going to go ahead and reload the bow real fast. He's going to follow us right on out here. Shouldn't take more than 2 love taps to sit him down. Wasn't expecting there to be a jail cell on the side. I virtually guarantee there's going to be like a piece of notepaper or something around that's going to explain the situation and be like, hey, I locked Ted in the basement. He's going crazy, bro. It's the zombie apocalypse thing, dude. Hey, there's some shotgun ammo in there. That's nice. Don't have a shotgun, but I have seen screenshots of other people with shotguns, so that does markedly increase the chance that we are going to have a shotgun. Energy bar, energy drink, chips. I think that's all that I really need to survive. That sounds okay to me. Nothing inside the fridge. Now we just got to get down in here and sort of investigate this location. It is sort of a bummer that I can't put anything in my offhand to like defend myself with. Like, I'm not that upset about it, but it would be nice. And then on top of that, I don't like how the flashlight cycles when you're going through crates. Like, it kind of dips downwards, then back upwards. It looks like there's money, and it looks like there's pistol bullets inside of there. Anything in the lockers? Some water, energy bars, shotgun shells, an electrical... It looks like an alternator is what it looked like to me, but I got to get a good look at it. Another candy bar right there. A few more bullets, another first aid kit, another electrical system. Definitely can deal with that. Doesn't look like this is sleepable down inside of here, so we're not going to be able to take a little... There's the letter. What did I say? Do I not know my zombie games? Yesterday I was returning from the guys from the base by the usual path and was attacked by a zombie. Damn it. They hadn't wandered into the forest for so long, and I completely relaxed. The wounds are not serious, but I feel terrible, so I'm going to lock myself in a cage for the night so as not to harm anybody else. If you're reading this, I'm dead. Please bury me in the forest, which has become my home since the beginning of all of this horror. No can do, dude. I don't think that there's a bury a guy in the back garden command for the game as of right now. Believe me, for thematic purposes, I would love to pick your ass up and bury you in the backyard, but I don't think that I have the tools available. He's got a little cook pot out here. It's looking like it's seen better days. Definitely wouldn't chow down on that one. Probably going to give yourself a pretty rowdy case of the rumble guts if you go after that one. But like, hey, live your life the way that you want to live your life. I don't dictate what it is that you do with your time. And so, if you want to try, if you want to give it a go, then fair enough. Okay, so I've returned back to the train because it doesn't look like there's anything else to investigate over there, although I do appreciate the fact that they're adding little kind of side objectives. Like, I do think that the train makes for, so just from a game design standpoint, I think the train makes for, like, a really, really good kind of seeking tower. Like, it's tall, it stands up over the land, you can see things, and I think that dotting the area with little points of interest, like, putting a house, like, on top of that mountain or something, or, putting a tower over there on top of that mountain, and just having it barely peek over the hog back right there on that side. Like, that sort of stuff is what players really, really like. If you've ever played Breath of the Wild, Nintendo was an absolute master. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of Breath of the Wild. Like, I thought it was solid, but I didn't like the weapon breaking mechanic. But that being said, when it came to map design, Nintendo totally reinvented the wheel with that game, because if you look at the way that, let me deactivate the brake here, we'll turn on the train. Let's get this thing rolling while we talk. If you look at the map design in Breath of the Wild, everything is meant to bring you up to a crest or to a high point, and then as you look out over the land, you can see things, and the game does it with like no indicators. You can just be like, oh, there's a thing over there, I'm gonna go see what it is, and from that thing you can see another thing, and like the entire game is effectively a bunch of chained lines with arrows on the end that just guide you from like one thing to the next, and it was really, really cool map design. I liked it a lot. So the trains are moving. It gets dark kind of early, and so we're probably gonna have to sleep by the time we get to the next location. I'm gonna keep an eye out for any paths or trails or anything, but I will see you when we get to the first scavenging location. We've arrived at the next map, and sunset is kind of dawning over the top of this thing. This game uses extensive lighting effects, and actually I think it works to great effect. It's just absolutely stunning, despite the sort of cartoony style of the game. Ah, there's a location down there. Despite the cartoony stylizations of the game, when you get to like dawn and dusk, you just get these rad vistas that you overlook. And that's one of the cool things. Like, I've traveled a lot by train. I love trains. I think they're great. And I've traveled across California numerous times from top to bottom on trains. And the cool thing about trains, the opportunity they offer you, is they tend to go through the hinterland, because like the most efficient way to get from point A to point B via train line is usually through mountain ranges and stuff that it's inefficient to like provide roads through. And so you get to see things that are like truly untouched, just kind of the majesty of nature. And I think the game kind of captures that like pretty well, actually. We're gonna be pulling up on this stop over here pretty soon. It looks like there's a highway down there, or is that a train track? I can't tell from this distance. Looks like a train track to me. I think we're gonna loop around and come back down that way and sort of zigzag our way down the hill. I'm gonna get down to the village down there. Once we stop, I'm gonna take a rest, and then we will resume our scavenging. Well, it's morning. Let's go ahead and pull on into the fishing village and see what we've got going on. So I'm going to activate the train. I actually really like how manual the train is. Like, I enjoy the fact that you've got to kind of activate things in sequence in order to get it running. We do need to keep an eye on our fuel, which is listed over on this side. We're very low right now. The game doesn't seem to have a ton of fuel in it at the moment from what I've played so far, just because there's only the 2 locations. There's like here, and there's another one after this. But like, honestly, I'm really looking forward to seeing how the game develops, because I think they're in fertile territory right here. And I'll talk about some suggestions that I have for how the game should develop as it goes forward, and like sort of themes and I guess mechanics that I'd like to see implemented as the game goes along. I think they're in uncharted territory, not in terms of the zombie apocalypse with this game, but I think they could be in uncharted territory with regards to the mechanics that they attach just to the train in a zombie apocalypse, which I think is something somewhat special, in all honesty, that we haven't seen before. We've got the loading dock coming up right here. Let me see if I can do this like a professional. Let me see if I can pull this off like a boss. So we probably want to cut the thrust right about the time we see the paddock. Did I do good? We'll pop the brake real quick. There we go. Well, I lined the back one up pretty close. Let's see how I did here. Well, we did all right. It's not too terrible. Looks like we did a decent job. It's like almost lined up with the back paddock right there. If you want to refuel the train, you do it manually. There's a little hookup over on this side right here. You flip that on open and you put gas cans in there. That's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and check out this location. I've taken care of my meter mating. I should probably take care of my health, though, too. My health is kind of bad right now, and I would prefer that it be slightly better by comparison to where it's at. Oh, there's a zombie on me right now. There's a zombie on me, and you can't harm me. Hoodoo, you voodoo, bitch. There we go. We'll drop that guy right there. All right. Let's check these crates out, see if there's anything good. Some metal. Nothing inside that one. This one right here has a bunch of little goodies. I don't know what any of it's good for, but we'll pick through it and figure out if there's something we can craft. Put an arrow on him real fast. Perfect. Another zombie down. I highly recommend you get a ranged weapon like as soon as possible in this game. Ranged weapons are really sort of like paramount. Chips. I like chips. Chips are good. Some wood on that side. Some wood and some metal. Nothing inside of there. A little bit of metal on that side. Yeah, dude, I'll take a little bit more wood. Why not? What's there not to get wood about in the middle of a fishing village? Like, sometimes you gotta, ooh, right in the side of his cheeky. I got him right in his chuff right there, dude. That's what I call the cheek area on my cat when I'm scratching it. I call it the chuff. He's got like the little chuff. I didn't search that, but it's right next to the train, so I figure it shouldn't be too hard to go through. A couple of cabinets inside of here. Not really a whole lot, just some water. That's fine, though. Water is vital for survival, so we're going to need it. Oh, there's you here, too, huh? All right, well, let me reload the old bow real fast, and we'll take you out. How you feeling about your decisions? You know, job opportunities kind of just seem to have dried up around here in the fishing village. Figured I'd go into human cannibalism, but, you know, that business hasn't been working out. It turns out Amazon's already got it covered in the post-apocalypse. Who would have ever expected, right? Who would have ever expected? But, you know, maybe someday the factory will come back. Oh, that was not good. That was a horrible miss. I do like the way that the bow feels in this game. It's got kind of like a nice draw and like a nice arc to it. Now I gotta see if I can find that arrow, dude. That's the downside in archery, is just finding your arrows whenever you miss, especially if you got crabgrass, dude. If you got crabgrass, the arrows like to dive down underneath it. You can never find that damn thing. That thing will be gone forever. Dude, we're breaking arrows at a terrible rate right now. I'm not going to have any arrows left by the time I get through this. I think it's just a randomized chance that the arrow breaks whenever you fire it. Just something to keep in mind. I'm going to reload real quick. Oh, I hear him. He's inside of here. That apparently didn't hit. Ow. Okay. We're going to kind of do this the old-fashioned way, then. We'll do it caveman style. Yeah, it looks like the arrow flew straight through. There it is right there. Sometimes you get weird little collision things like that when you're playing the game. I've noticed it. Sometimes the arrow flies through the zombie instead of hitting him. If they're, like, in a transitional state, like banging on a door and then going back to, like, idling or whatever, happens. There's bandages and a med kit inside of there. Definitely take that. Apparently, I'm overloaded, which is heartbreaking. I definitely wish that I wasn't overloaded because that means I gotta go back to base, and we just got started, man. We just got started. I barely got in here. There's some food inside of there. All right, let me go offload. Oh, there's a big boy right there. That's a big boy right there. That's a big boy right there. Oh, broken arrow on the side of his head, too. Apparently got a real thick skull. I don't remember how many arrows it takes to take down the big ones. All I can tell you is don't get punched in the face by the big ones. You're going to have, like, a bad time if you go down that path. There we go. And the game has an RPG progression system, just in case that's what gets your jimmies tickled. We press the G key, we can bring up this menu right here. We've leveled up twice. We can actually increase our stats if we want to. So we can make our strength larger. That makes us hit harder with melee weapons and whatnot. We got stamina, which will make our meter a little bit better. Actually, I kind of like the idea of having more stamina. So I'm going to tack that out real fast so that I can sprint a little bit more. So we're kind of full up on storage right now. I think we're going to have to make some kind of like storage bench or something. Like there are a bunch of things that we can build inside of here. So we've got 2-door lockers on this side. I think it's a good idea to get a couple of those going just so we can sort of get ourselves settled here. We also have like wall mounted ones, I think. But like I don't have any walls right now, so I don't think it's going to matter for the moment. If you want to place stuff inside your base, you just put it on a hotkey just as you expected. And then we'll just kind of take this right here. We'll rotate it into play, like right there. And that looks okay to me. Let's go ahead and smack this thing together, and then we'll throw some stuff inside of it and see what we got going on. There are walls and things that you can build for the train, too. Haven't done it yet, but you can press B to bring up, like, an overall building menu. And that overall building menu will give you access to sort of, like, building walls on your train, building roofs. Apparently that's leather right there. I was kind of wondering what that was. Got some plastics inside of there. I think we can also, like, place things sort of long dark style if we want to, just in case you wanted to decorate the place. Unfortunately, the chips stand up on end, but you can make like kind of these cool little stashes over here if you want to, just to give the place a little bit of character. And honestly, I think that's a really, really good feature. I think that's a feature that makes the game significantly more interesting. Throw my money in there. We got shotgun shells on that side. I'm gonna keep the water with me. We'll throw the cloth on in there. There we go. Let's get back to adventuring. All right, so I'm going to walk the sea. It's not really a seashore. It's more of a river shore. I was going to make a joke about the A shore and the B shore, but, like, At this point, I think it's a wash. We're going to go melee for a little bit just to make sure. You can dash using the space bar, and that'll allow you to get out of the way of most of the slower zombies. The faster zombies, you may struggle a bit with actually, like, putting any distance between you and them, but it's just kind of the way that it goes. I'm going to smack you up real quick, dude. Oh, I don't have any stamina for the attackies. It's okay. I've got just enough stamina for the wackies, and that's enough. Let's see here. Baseball bat's actually looking a little bit rough. I'm glad I put those points into stamina because, like, you can't run for very long in this game. Got another dude down here at the bottom. We'll go ahead and take care of him Legolas style. Right between the... Okay, a little bit above the eye, but sort of like right between the eye. We'll go ahead right there. Grab those back. Looks like we got a floating crate down here. Oh, really? We can mine with a shovel. I feel like that's new. I saw the shovel on the crafting list, and I was sort of wondering what it was going to be useful for. I do like the implementation of a digging system. That's kind of like a really, really good opportunity for them to do seeded quests, where, like, you kill a zombie, you loot the zombie, you find a note on the zombie saying that he buried his treasure somewhere. And if you had an overall world map, which I think would be great for a game like this, then it would put a little ping over there, and you got to kind of, like, search around the little grid sector where it might be at. Yeah, I could get down on that. I enjoy little hunts and finds. I think that place looks great, so I think we're going to go over there and check that place on out and see what we can find inside of there. But first, let me not get ahead of myself. I'm going to loot everything I can on the way because I do want to build up the train and make it more awesome. Oh, he's a sneaky boy, and he got me. All right. All right. Fair enough, dude. You earned that one. You earned that one. You put in the work, you planted the seeds, you watered them, and you waited for them to sprout, and I'm proud of you. I'm not even mad about that damage that I took right there, because honestly, well done. Well played, zombie. Well played. You use stealth and angles to your advantage. I was always a big fan of, like, monster closets, like in, like, Doom, where the wall slides down. There's, like, 30 imps inside of there. Always makes me jump every single time, and so I don't mind seeing it with other games, too. Makes the looting a little bit more interesting. The only downside is, like, once you've seen it once, you know that it's there, and it kind of loses all of its mystique and allure. But, like, it's life. Inside of here, we have... Okay. Some goodies inside of there. Hey, we got a pistol on that. Uh-oh. Was it booby trap, dude? A little Makarov right there? Yeah, that's not ideal. Apparently, there was a booby trap inside of here. So we're going to have to hold the line on this side. I'm going to see if I can put a couple rounds on this dude before he gets any closer. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm doing a good job. Yeah, we should probably get a little gap in between us and him. There we go. He's down. Looks like there's a couple more of them coming, some slow ones and some fast ones. We got plenty of ammo, so honestly, I'm not that worried about sort of the prospects. Yeah. That did not go good. I'm about to get smacked. There we go. He's down. Oh, look at that. It drops a little magazine on the floor. Yeah, from our little Makarov, or like our little burst of thunder, I guess, if you're in the United States. There we go. I'm just going to hold my ground right here because we have plenty of ammo. The only downside is that the gun has durability, so we're kind of wasting it right now to dig ourselves out of sort of this self-imposed, like, booby trap hole. But I do like little events and things, kind of like being on the map like that. It's pretty cool. If you do this event right here before you find any ammo for the pistol, it is decidedly more intense. It's actually like a life or death struggle. Luckily, we found a lot of ammo along the way, so it seems like the loot is somewhat, like, randomized, but I think we're safe now. Some bean. Some generically labeled bean right there. I'll go ahead and get some hunger and thirst back, and then after we eat that, we'll fill up the meters. We'll grab a little bit of water right there. I do like the gunshot sound. I think it sounds good. It could be like a little bit snappier, and then I'd like to also be able to ADS. I don't know if they have plans to implement that on into the game, but like not third person shooting, but sort of like hip firing all the time CSGO style never works for me on a thematic level. I want to be able to look down the actual sights. However, it seems like they did a pretty good job of recreating this little Makarov right here. I have one of these in real life. It's not an actual Makarov, but it's a burst of thunder. Or I guess a burst of firestorm, I think is the name that they gave it for the California legal version or whatever. It's like literally the exact same gun. It's just a semi-auto pistol. I think they had to like change the name to get it like on list or something like that. I don't recall, but there's functionally like no difference between the Thunder and the Firestorm. Oof, I tried to put a little bit on him, but unfortunately he was too speedy and fast. Took a little bit of a scuffing. I probably don't need to be shooting these guys, but the pistol seems like it's got pretty good durability, so I'm not going to panic about utilizing it. A little bit more ammo inside of there. Looks like there's some workshops and things. I do like how the cabinets open and close. I think that's a really good interactive feature. I don't like it when looting games, they don't have that. So like when a looting game does not have the cabinet like physically swinging open while you're accessing it, I just feel like that feels a little bit lazy to me. And maybe not lazy, but definitely they're losing points on immersiveness where they could be gaining points on immersiveness with just kind of a small change in making the boxes fully interactable. These guys right here don't pop on open, but I do like that the stuff inside the more interesting locations like houses do. A few more building materials right there. Happy for it. I'm going to try to save my ammo. I got stuck on a pole right there. I got stuck on a pole. It stole my soul. There we go. You go down. The gun doesn't seem to actually make a noise in the context of the world. Like, you notice that zombie on the road right here? Like, he didn't care at all that I was discharging a gun. One thing that's sort of a zombie apocalypse standard that I think they should implement is that when you discharge a gun, once they get a mini-map into the game, and once they get kind of like a world map into the game, every time you discharge a firearm, it should make kind of a little ring on the mini-map, and anything inside of that area will get pulled to you. He's down. We already got the big dog over there, too, so, like, I don't think we have to worry about that too much. Hey, another level up. Let me reload it real quick. Anybody in here? I'm going to use that level up real fast. Let's press the G key to get back into our menu. And I'm going to go with a little bit more stamina because sprinting is good. We've got pills over here. It says that these are going to give me health regeneration for 120 seconds. I think that sounds like a great plan, dude. I think I could... There's definitely going to be a zombie in here somewhere. This is just too good of an area to put an ambush. Yeah. There we go. I was gonna say, like, this entire area is super good for, like, an ambush. Unfortunately, that zombie wasn't paying, like, crazy good attention, but, hey, we got a record right there. I assume we can make a record player or something to actually play it on, or maybe it's for, like, it says Big Band Juggle, so, yeah, it's labeled. It actually, like, makes music, so I'm thinking... if we can make a record player, we can actually throw that thing on it and play the music. The windows do break. Like that right there, so that's also a nice little feature. I specifically tested that by trying to swack all the windows with baseball bats while I was testing the game out, just to see if it was there. So we're getting kind of towards the end of the video. I'd like to talk about some of the features I'd like to see implemented with what they've got going on. I think that, like, immersion is going to be the name of the game with this, because effectively you are a wanderer. Like, you're just kind of rolling through the post-apocalyptic world trying to find the things you need to build up your train. I noticed that there's a radio on the train. I think it'd be really, really cool if there was sort of randomly generated missions that came through on the train, and then you deliver the materials for those missions, so you kind of become like the postal delivery man of the apocalypse, I guess, in that way. I think that'd be kind of sweet. So, like, the idea that I have is that once they get the map fully implemented, you have, like, villages or you have, like, towns that actually have survivors in them, and all of them start out kind of, like, comparatively weak and terrible, and like, they get attacked from time to time, and they can actually be wiped off the map if you're not careful. And if they do get wiped off the map, they convert and they become like a lootable location, basically. But if you help them out by basically going to those towns and using your train and your mobility to go around the world and find materials for them and help them build up defenses and, like, supply them with weapons and stuff like that, they'll get stronger and you'll get, like, better trade items from them and their shops will get better, stuff like that. I think that would be a really, really cool idea. And then also that would kind of give you, like, an origin point for, like, the radio objectives that I was talking about. You get access to more quests, like, as you level up the town to go do things that previously undiscovered and undisclosed locations that have better and better stuff. I really do think, like, the radio and the train should be the catalyst for the entire game, because, like, aside from the train, this game is just a bog standard zombie apocalypse first-person shooter. But, like, I think if properly utilized, the train could become, like, a really, really cool part. And going along with that, I'd like to see the ability to, like, customize your train, not just in, like, building the walls on the cars and whatnot, but being able to customize the engine itself as well. You know, adding scoops and adding kind of, you know, cow skulls to the front of it and adding, like, zombies that have been chained to the front of the train. Really being able to make the train your own and go with your personal play style. If you're choosing to be sort of like a Reaver-style marauder that kind of raids and pillages and wipes out all the towns, you know, you'll unlock things that, like, make the train reflect that. If you're kind of like a good guy who's going across the apocalypse, solving people's problems and fixing their issues and whatnot, you'll be able to paint the train and make it kind of like this shining beacon in the apocalypse that, like, hey, you know, the train man has arrived. The train man will save us. And, you know, there's this idea of the developing mythology of the world that I think they could play around with to make it, like, really, really cool and sort of immersive. And, like, it's, uh-oh, this is not a great situation. Okay, so you first. Uh-oh, there's two of them. Okay, never mind. Not you first. You second, and then you third. There we go. I knew we could take care of business out here. That's what I'd like to see. I think that, like, polka dotting the map with interesting locations that are not necessarily super obvious is a good idea, too. Like, we're obviously out in the middle of nowhere. Like, there's, like, fishing villages and whatnot. A mining camp with, you know, a mine that goes deep down into the earth and comes out on the other side of the map would be cool. That you could use for deliveries by parking the train next to it, and it'd be faster and more fuel efficient to go through the mine with all the stuff on your back in order to deliver it. Then you go back to the train through the mine and whatnot. I think that there's a lot of cool ideas for sort of fire watches and things you could put out in the middle of nowhere, like things that you find, old ghost towns and things of that nature like we're in right now. Lots and lots of things. Like I don't want the game to be entirely stops. You know, like, I don't want it to be a sequence of villages that are prescribed and pre-designed. I would love it if, like, the villages were pre-designed, but everything in between it could have some random generation to it, so you never know where, like, a random hunter's cabin or, like, a fire watch or, like, a ranger station or a mine or any of that stuff is actively going to show up. Things to tempt you to stop your train even though you're in between locations to see if you can find any loot. I think that'd be a really, really sweet idea. I do think that they need to kind of put some kind of time scale into the game. And I think since they're already invoking Snowpiercer with the design of this game, I think making the track one big circle and each one counts as a cycle, basically, and like certain things happen on certain cycles, and if you don't resolve them, there are consequences. That'd be an interesting mechanic to implement. Basically, my mind is abuzz with the things that they could do with this game, and I hope they get around to it. I like the concept of this game, and I'm very, very much hoping that they don't drop the ball on it. So anyways, my name is Splattercat. This is Zompiercer. I hope you guys enjoyed our stay. I didn't show you the building menu right here, but there's all kinds of stuff that you can build for the train. There's everything from wood walls to metal roofs. There's doors, there's windows and things that you can build. There's metal bars that you can put up so that you can shoot on out of them. It seems like they have a plan to have the train attacked because there's little like fluff texts and things like that sort of like indicate like, hey, this is good for defense, but it gives bad visibility and stuff like that. I don't know if that's just flavor for right now, but I would like to see that actually developed into a mechanic too, like the train randomly breaking down on certain cycles and whatnot, and you being relegated to being on foot and scavenging the things you need in order to piece it back together and get back on the road and resume your journey as the train man would be really, really cool. I mean, there's lots and lots of ideas here that I think could work very, very well to make this a super cool zombie survival game. But anyways, I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for stopping on in. How you doing? Take care, everybody. I'll see you with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet tomorrow.